So, got a little story to tell. I think it was last year I was riding here and it was a powder day, and I was riding a green homeschool jacket, and my buddy saw what he thought was me riding down in a green homeschool jacket on a Chris Roach board, and we were just about to link up. He's like, "Damn, Beastie, you're riding so much better. You're such a better rider these days. Wow, you've really improved." We hadn't seen each other in a little while. I was like, that wasn't me. Turns out that was Chris Roach. And so there you have it. You know, we all know he's a good rider, but this is the Chris Roach model, and that's why you got that story right there. So I got out on it today. I've been looking at this for like 2 years and trying to link up with D-Day snowboards to no avail. We just kept missing one another. It's very difficult sometimes to get these demos going. But luckily now, thanks to P3 and Mammoth, they have this for demo and I believe for sale as well. And it was just a fucking pleasure to get on this board today. Jimbo and I each rode it. And like you can see with this flex here, it's got a nice kind of medium-ish flex like between the feet, but then a nice softer, kind of like much more buttery feel in the tip and tail than you would notice for a free ride board. And as you can see, it's definitely a tapered directional ride. It doesn't have a lot of taper, but it has a little taper. I think it's only like 6 mil, but it's got that kind of like nice combo of like an all mountain flex and sole inside the board with a free ride shape and setback. It's like a 25 mil setback on side cut, and I believe it's probably a little bit more on board. And I'll, you know, when I get back to P3 and take the bindings off, I'll get out a tape measure and see how it performs. You see how it measures out in terms of setback and how far you can go on board. So read that down below. But this is just, and I think this is at a very reasonable price point, like around 400 bucks. And if so, then this is for sure a good ride, free ride favorite in the low cost range, because it's got that like fun mountain butter ability, but it's got great edge hold and it can carve really well. It's got like kind of a mostly camber kind of ride. It looks like camber with a touch of early rise in the nose and tail. Let me look down here. Yeah, it's got camber between the feet, a little bit of early rise in the nose. Not a lot, but a good bit. And it looks like even maybe a touch in the tail, but it was easy to butter off the tail. It was fun to press, but yet when you wanted to point it and carve, it still had something there. So it wasn't like it was too soft, like the old, you know, like the Capital Black Snowboard to Death. That just felt too soft. This has that nice balance between soft in the tip and tail and a little more medium-ish, you know, between the feet. So yes, it's playful and it's light and it's snappy and it's poppy, but it didn't just fall apart on a straight line like I thought it might for this flex. But you know, I really had a good time riding it, and so did Jimbo. Jimbo was super impressed. I just loved how this thing carved, and then you could butter, and I could take it switch okay, but it wasn't great. And I think this is an amazing board for somebody who kind of wants to get into free ride and needs a good price point, but also wants something that isn't super aggressive and stiff. You can ride this all day on a crowded Saturday, perfect morning groomers, to, you know, late afternoon where it's just a sloppy shit show of a mess. And you know, and with a combination of a few beers and you know, a good damp binding and boot paired up with this ride, you could just take it all day, and it could just kind of weave in and out. It was a very fast turn initiation, like medium fast to fast, and it was super fun to make quick turns. I'd love to dart in and out of trees on a powder day with this kind of board, and I'd love to just, you know, you could do a lot with this board, and it really got me off. It really just tickled that taint, and just made me have a really fun time. You know, this is the kind of board I wouldn't mind owning, and it's a kind of board that I would have, that I will be strongly recommending, especially for people looking for a good freeride board at a good price point, because there aren't many out there. It seems like every freeride board needs to be like 500 or more. So like, I'd say this is kind of like right there with its own unique personality, but kind of like another compliment to you know, the Solomon, what is it? The Solomon, they keep changing the name every year, but it's a good ride favorite. It's a Solomon freeride board, and this has that kind of like specialness, especially at this price point. So there you have it. That's the Chris Roach, and now I get why he butters this so well. Not just because he's a good rider, but this just is a super fun freeride board to butter, carve, get air, pop. You can take this in the pipe. You can get some really good directional air with this, and hell, if you even wanted to jib, you could probably jib a little bit with this too. So it's got that kind of like, it's just that nice combination between that do everything all mountain, you know, flex and soul, combined with a free ride shape, and I think it will have a lot of universal appeal, especially for those on a budget. There you have it, the Chris Roach.